We were talking about the Middle East, and we have another story which I find fascinating, is the mayor of Miami has asked for a U.S.-led intervention into Cuba. Did you hear this?
No, I didn't. But I think the last time we tried that, it was something to do with pork, Bay of Pigs.
Pigs,
Oh,
right?
man.
Yeah.
John
Well,
Kennedy.
so we got these big protests erupting in Cuba. I love this one. They're yelling freedom, down with dictatorship. And what does the media say? Protesting lack of COVID resources and vaccines and things like that.
Well, of course, they have to spend this because remember, it was Barack Obama down there with the Castros at a baseball game, and he also took a big picture in front of a mural of Che Guevara, one of the most bloodthirsty revolutionaries ever.
Yeah, super racist, wasn't he?
Yes. Homophobic.
And so they can't say that people want freedom, people want liberty. No, it's about COVID. They don't have enough masks. They need more vaccines.
You see, they said, New York Times said freedom and other anti-government slogans.
Isn't that incredible?
But I do think that's funny because I think from a libertarian perspective, you get it, especially an anti-communist perspective. Yeah, saying freedom in Cuba is anti-government.
And see, the thing is that just the same as we saw in the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, where Hispanics want safety and security. They don't want defunding the police. They want their principles and values are conservative. You're going to lose just the same as what happened in the last election cycle. The Cuban community, that Hispanic community down in South Florida, the Venezuelan expatriates, the Cuban expatriates, they went heavily for Donald Trump. Guess what's going to happen this time? They're going to go even more so in the next election.
And now here's why. You're familiar with the Democratic Socialists of America?
Yes.
So the Democratic Socialists of America International Committee tweeted out in support of the Cuban communist regime. Now here's the best part. It confused a lot of people because they don't understand the language of communists.
Yeah.
They tweeted, DSA stands with the Cuban people and their revolution in this moment of unrest and the blockade. What you need to understand about the communists is that they call their government the revolution. For instance, when I was in Venezuela, they said Tim Pool was sent here to destabilize the revolution. They call their communist government the revolution. So when they tweet this out saying they stand with the people and their revolution, what did the president of Cuba just say? He said he was calling on the revolutionary citizenry to fight back against the protesters. This is the Democratic Socialists of America International Committee with a pinned tweet saying they support the communist regime. Here's the best part. AOC, as most of you know, is a card-carrying member of the Democratic Socialists of America. A lot of people are pointing out that Bernie, AOC, the squad, aren't criticizing the Cuban regime right now.
Of course
So
not.
what do you think's going to happen? You saw what happened in that Democrat district in 2020 in Miami. It was a safe Democrat district. They predicted it was going to swing, what was it, like 15 points or whatever. Democrat went hard red. Republican won, and everyone kind of threw up, all the Democrats threw up in their mouths like, how did this happen? It's because these people who live in Florida know exactly what's going on in Cuba and exactly what these promises really mean. There was one viral video from a Venezuelan a year or so ago where she was like, everything the DSA, AOC, and Bernie Sanders have promised you is exactly what they told us in Venezuela. And now we're starving. Our industries are collapsing. Crime is skyrocketing. Once the most prosperous nation in South America, now it's just the
shell of itself.
And murder, more murder than any other.
And how did it
Caracas.
start? How did it start? One of the first things that Hugo Chavez did, he banned private gun ownership.
Oh, wow.
Always.
Oh, yeah, never let them.
Always.
That's where it starts. You can Bolshevik revolution, in China with Chairman Mao, wherever you go. And it's always interesting how the left, it was the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or it's the Democratic German Republic and things of this nation. They always try to use that democratic word, but yet they are the progressive socialists. They are the statists. They are the communists. They are the Marxists. And we've got to get smarter about that. But think about this also. When Hamas was raining down rockets all over Israel, you had, the members of the squad and others in the Democrat Party condemning Israel. And so there's going to come a time when they're our best advertisement. I guess that's what I want to say. And all we've got to do is voices like you all's here and others just continue to say this. Just the same as they have that constant pressure, instead of the constant retreat on our side, we have to match it with the constant pressure of the truth.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I say free the code a lot. I'm trying to create new memes because being like, no, they're wrong is just going to empower them.
And that's what Republicans do all the time. Instead of Republicans saying, here's what we want and why, they say no to Democrats.
Yeah.
Michael Malice brought this up. He said, you've got Democrats that are saying, we want universal health care. We want you to give to us. And the Republicans saying no. Where's the Republican to come out and say, I want to repeal the NFA or repeal some of these gun laws, or to say we want a law that does X for us on gun rights? Typically, they're resisting Democrats' offense, always on the defense. That's,
I give you a great example, and I was sharing this with some folks at CPAC yesterday. Remember the Olympic hammer thrower who came out? She turned her back on the national anthem.
Gwen Berry.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great if someone just came out and put a little meme, just a side-by-side comparison of Jesse Owens in 1936 standing on that pedestal after winning the gold medal and saluting while the national anthem was being played? Munich, Germany, 1936. You know who was the chancellor of Germany right then?
Oh, yeah.
Adolf Hitler. And then just at the bottom says, who's the real hero? And see, that's how we deconstruct everything that they say. Just like right now with this mandatory vaccinations, let's just take their language and say, my body, my choice.
People have been doing that. I love it.
Yeah.
Candace Owens tweeted something about how her family has decided, what's best for them, and people called her pro-choice. And I just look at this and I'm like, here's what happens. You get these young people. They have no political experience.
Mm-hmm.
They see some older person say, here's how you respond to it, but it's nonsensical. The left either is lying or doesn't understand that conservatives' argument is there are two people involved in one body when it comes to pro-life.
Yeah.
And if Candace Owens says, my individual family member made a choice, she's not deciding for another life. It's like they don't understand anything that conservatives say, and it's probably because they are just in this isolated bubble. They don't talk. They're in the box.
Echo chamber.
Yeah.
Right.
They're in their own echo chamber. And that's why it's so important to understand that when they start to yell and scream at you, when they're starting to call you the names, instead of retreating, remember what Ayn Rand said, the constant retreat, you've got to, more constant pressure because you're winning the debate. You have taken them past their initial little talking point, which is an inch deep, and you need to go on the offense. But too often what we do is when they call us the name, we go on the defense, which emboldens them and gives them the power, and we cede that over to them. But we've got to be more aggressive and continue to pound them with the truth.
Yeah.
That's why the critical race theory stuff is really effective. It's funny. I mean, we're talking about this stuff in schools. Christopher Rufo has been leading this charge, James Lindsay as well. And they start screaming, no one's teaching critical race theory. You get John Leguizamo coming out being like, yo, this is just a legal talky talk or whatever. And it's funny because I saw someone on Twitter point out, if you've got a problem with us calling everything critical race theory, it's no different from you calling everything white supremacy. So welcome to the same game you've been playing.
Absolutely.
And they hate it.
But you know what is interesting that completely debunks what they're saying is that when the head of the American Federation of Teachers, Randy Weingarten, stands up and says, we are going to teach critical race theory. Yep. And we are going to go after parents who try to, stand up against us. So in other words, what the teachers unions, the left, has decided is they have initiated a war on parents. Now remember the war on women? Why don't we come out and say, there's a war on parents? There was a war on parents trying to make sure that their kids are getting a good education and not an indoctrination, especially in your urban, school districts where kids aren't reading at level. Kids aren't doing math at level. But what do they want? They want to teach them that, Ian, Lydia. See, I'm going so fast. Lydia, yeah. Ian, Lydia, and Tim, you're oppressing me.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm actually
I'll never
mixed.
stop, Alan.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Your skin's white, man.
Nope. So
No, you're oppressing me. No,
You're conservative.
No, you're trying to put it on me. No, you're
I can.
oppressing me.
Well,
no,
but,
you can't.
you're
I'm a
conservative.
victim.
Nope, you're a white
See, I'm a
supremacist.
victim,
is
but
love.
See, look,
no, that's how I see it. But that's what critical race theory is saying to me.
Absolutely.
But now you're telling me I'm a victim. Now I'm a victim of you telling me I'm oppressing you. Now I'm the victim.
No,
it never ends.
No,
it's a cycle.
No. In critical race theory,
you're stuck in it.
Oh no.
In critical race theory, it's actually fairly simple. You, as a conservative, instantly become a white supremacist. Now, as for me,
and that's true, and also Joe Biden said that since I didn't vote for him, I'm not black. So guess what? I did. I am screwed.
Oh, snap.
I'm just like you guys.
now check this out though.
Dang, I'm just as white as Lydia.
Shocking.
The reality is, for both of us, if we agree with them, then we're both oppressed. If we disagree with them, then we're both racists and our backgrounds don't matter or anything like that.
But do you understand how confusing that is? So just teach your kids math and reading and stop screwing around with their minds and trying to indoctrinate them. But the great thing, Tim, is that when you talk about this critical race theory, 2 years ago, no one knew who their school board member was.
Yeah.
No one went to school board meetings. No one even cared. Who is that?
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.